the skis of Meridian burned for 3 days. It began with a shadow, sleek, obsidian warships slipping through the colony's upper atmosphere, silent as the void itself. The people below barely had time to look up before the bombardment began. Meridian had been a jewel among the outer human colonies, lush, peaceful, and proud of its independence. Farmers, miners, engineers, families, all living beneath the golden light of twin suns. No military installations, no weapons, no reason to be attacked. And yet they came. The Varex Dominion, a coalition of scaled and ancient races, descended upon Meridian with mechanical precision. They spoke of cleansing and order. Humanity, they declared, had grown soft, spread too far, and forgotten its place. From orbit, the Varex admiral watched the bombardment through crystalline observation panes. Entire cities bloomed into molten craters, oceans boiled, and comms filled with screams cut short by static. When it was over, the admiral turned to his bridge crew and hissed, "Let them see their fire die. Earth is old, weak, sentimental. They cannot afford revenge. They will do as they always do, mourn and beg for peace." The Varex left the system without occupying it. There was nothing left worth taking. Meridian was dead. Its 20 million souls turned to ash and silence. The galaxy watched, and in the void between stars, whispers began. Earth had grown soft. Humanity's flame had gone out. Mockery in the halls of power. Weeks later, the Dominion's High Council convened in the crystal spires of Varex Prime. The Admiral presented his report to roaring applause. The councilors, scaled, feathered, chitin-clad, spoke openly of their contempt. "The humans cling to ideals," hissed one counselor, her scales glimmering gold. "They speak of mercy, of restraint, but they are fragile creatures of emotion, not will." "They will protest, perhaps," another chortled, "send words instead of weapons. A council inquiry, maybe sanctions. Then they will return to their games and art and peace talks." They laughed, the cold laughter of predators who believed themselves untouchable. A transmission had already reached Earth, of course. A message recorded from Meridian's final minutes. The screams, the faces of children staring into burning skis, the Admiral's last words gloating about humanity's weakness. It spread across every human network within hours. And for a time, silence followed. No declaration, no fleets deployed, no threats. The Varex took this silence as confirmation of victory. They believed Earth's fire had truly gone out, that humanity had become a race of philosophers, artists, and diplomats, too civilized for war. They didn't understand. Silence was never weakness. It was the intake of breath before the scream. The gathering storm. In the Sol system, deep beneath the surface of Luna Base, a single word was spoken, one not heard in a century. Retribution. Humanity's fleet command, dormant since the Great Conquered, came alive like a giant awakening from slumber. Shipyards across Mars ignited, forges roaring to life as drones and engineers swarmed around skeletal hulls of sleeping dreadnoughts. The orbital foundries of Titan churned out weapons platforms older than the Varex Empire itself, their codes unlocked by grim-faced admirals. Civilian traffic was halted. Trade routes went dark. Communications blacked out across the outer colonies as humanity pulled inward, silent, focused. Across the galaxy, diplomats pleaded for restraint, but Earth sent no reply. Not a word. Only a faint, repeating transmission echoed from Sol. Flame Protocol initiated. The Varex dismissed it as theatrics. They didn't yet understand what Flame Protocol meant. Because flame was not a single weapon. It was an entire doctrine forged in humanity's darkest wars, sealed away when peace came. It was total war without mercy or pause. When the first human fleet emerged from hyperspace, they came in silence, no declaration, no warning. Only a message broadcast on every open frequency, in every known language. You took 20 million lives. We will take your future. The return of the flame. The first Terran retribution fleet appeared at the edge of Varric space. 4,000 warships of every class, led by the super dreadnought UNS Vengeance. To the Varrics, it was inconceivable. Humans hadn't built a fleet of that size in centuries. Their logistics should have been impossible, their industry insufficient. But they underestimated the human will. Every shipyard, every civilian facility, every colony had contributed. Merchant vessels were refitted into gun platforms. Mining barges carried railguns the size of mountains. Even orbital habitats were converted into mobile fortresses. The Varric sent scouts, none returned. Then they sent fleets, none survived. When the human armada struck their border worlds, it wasn't conquest, it was erasure. Orbital bombardments that burned continents clean. Precision kinetic strikes that split planets' crusts. EMP storms that turned their data networks into static and fire. Every colony that had laughed at humanity's weakness was silenced in less than a week. And still the humans didn't speak. No transmissions, no negotiation, no demands. Just the same message, played after every annihilation. The flame still burns. The shattered dominion. Panic swept the Varric's dominion. Worlds that had never known war suddenly burned. Refugees flooded through the hyperlanes, spreading rumors of ships with blackened hulls and blue flame trails, ghost fleets that struck without warning and vanished into the void. The Dominion Council tried to recall their fleets, but humanity's attacks were surgical. Communication relays were destroyed first. Military command centers flattened. They struck with intelligence so precise it terrified even the other empires watching from afar. Every human retaliation was exact, deliberate, targeting only those who participated in Meridian's destruction. The galaxy began to understand this wasn't blind revenge, it was judgment. When the Varrics tried to sue for peace, their emissary ship was intercepted en route to Earth. The reply came in the form of a hologram broadcast to the entire galaxy, Admiral Kira Halden of the United Terran Navy. Her face was calm, emotionless. Behind her, Earth hung in the background, wreathed in light. "Meridian burned because you believed our flame was gone," she said. "You thought mercy meant weakness. You mistook silence for fear. You took the lives of innocents and called it order. Now understand this, humanity does not seek conquest. We do not desire your worlds. We come only to remind the stars, our flame never dies." The broadcast ended, and the stars began to burn. The inferno spreads. The Battle of Varix Prime became legend. Every race in the galaxy watched as the mightiest military world in Dominion space fell. The human fleet entered orbit and unleashed something no one had seen before, the solar lance. A weapon that condensed stellar plasma into focused streams, capable of cutting through planetary shields like paper. The skies over Varix Prime turned into an aurora of death. Their capital shattered under bombardment. Mountain ranges melted into rivers of glass. The Dominion's grand fleet, 2,000 ships strong, fought desperately, their plasma weapons lighting the void in chaotic fury. But human ships moved like predators, coordinated, relentless, emotionless. For every Terran vessel destroyed, 10 Varex ships followed it into fire. When the flagship of the Dominion's admiral was destroyed, the explosion was visible from the planet's surface, a second sun rising above a dying world. By the time it was over, Varex Prime was silent. No transmissions, no survivors, only the echoes of human engines fading into the dark. The galaxy holds its breath. After Varex's fall, the human fleets didn't stop. They moved methodically, system by system, dismantling the Dominion, destroying shipyards, crippling their infrastructure. But then, as suddenly as it began, the war ended. The fleets vanished into hyperspace, returning to human space. No occupation, no new territories claimed. Only ruins remained, entire sectors of space reduced to silence. The galaxy was left trembling. Empires that had once looked down on Earth now kept their distance. Trade offers arrived wrapped in fear. Borders were redrawn without human interference, every race making sure to stay far from Terran roots. For the first time in history, no one dared speak against Earth. They didn't call it peace. They called it the long silence. Whispers in the dark. Decades passed. The ruins of Varex Prime became a forbidden world, a scar no empire dared approach. But travelers spoke of strange lights in the void, of fleets that still patrolled silently beyond the borders of human space, of Terran ships that answered distress calls from the forgotten and the weak, and then vanished again, leaving only their insignia, a burning torch surrounded by stars. They said humanity had turned inward once more, that they didn't seek dominance. They built, they healed, they watched. Yet every ruler in the galaxy knew, beneath that calm exterior burned something ancient and eternal, a fire that could ignite the stars themselves if provoked. Children of 100 worlds grew up hearing the warning, whispered like a prayer. Never touch a human colony, never harm their kin, never wake the flame. Because once they had thought Earth's fire gone. They had seen the ashes of Meridian and believed humanity broken. But when Earth's vengeance came, it burned across the galaxy, reshaping empires and rewriting history. Epilogue: The Eternal Flame. On Earth, deep within the Lunar Command archives, the Flame Protocol was sealed once more. Admiral Halden stood before the Great Wall of Names, the victims of Meridian, and spoke softly. The fire has served its purpose, let it rest. And yet, in the silence of the chamber, the holographic emblem of the flame flickered, a torch burning bright. Outside, the night sky above Earth shimmered with countless stars, each one a witness, each one remembering. Humanity had shown the galaxy what it meant to awaken the fire within them. Not a fire of destruction, but of will, of vengeance and survival intertwined. For while others ruled through fear, humanity ruled through memory. And the galaxy would never forget the day Earth's flame returned. Because it still burned, unseen, waiting, ready to light the stars again if ever darkness dared to rise. They thought Earth's flame gone, but it lit the galaxy. And in that fire the galaxy found its fear and its awe.